This is the HVAC unit on the roof that we're cleaning, and then you can see the duct work back here, how the duct goes into the building shaft, and that is where we are repelling to do the insulation replacement. We only use Armaflex insulation when relining ductwork or units because it is rubberized and you don't have to worry about breathing fiberglass particles, and you get 100% glue coverage when you put this on, so it never peels off in the future, which is the reason we are here fixing this unit in ductwork, is because the insulation peeled off and did not adhere properly over the lifespan. Right now we are setting up our table for our insulation cutting section. So we're gonna have this, the sawhorses, then we're gonna have this piece of wood on top. It's gonna make a little table. And then we will have a spot to cut all of our insulation. When you're cutting the Armaflex insulation, you need a very sharp knife and you need good surfaces to cut it on, because it has to be precise so that the edges fit together nicely. And then I'll show you later, but on those edges, there is a tape to fix the seams so that they do not leak. Now that we have our table set up, we can roll the insulation out and we have a cutting surface to use.
We know this anchor point is strong enough, so we're gonna use this as our anchor point so we can go down the ropes in the duct.
So there really wasn't a good way to reach the far end of this duct. So we put the little Simpson strong ties on the side of the duct, screwed them in, both sides, got this Warner plank from Home Depot, and that is how we are getting to the far side of the duct. Okay, so we're gonna put our stick pin on now that we've glued here. And remember, compression is important here. We don't want to stretch the Armaflex out. We want to compress it. So we are going to push that in tightly. We're gonna find where our pin is at, and that way we can stick that on there. We're gonna be careful not to put our hand over that pin, which we've done many times, does not feel good. But anyway, then after the pin, I'm going to show you a full demonstration here. Okay, so I've got the little clamp. We're gonna slide that over the stick pin. Also, don't want to pinch our fingers there either. Then we are gonna take the dikes and we are going to cut this off. And then that stick pin is held on there tightly and secure. This is the real challenge. Trying to get all of this to fit, and we have our stick pin holding it there. We want the insulation tight there. And then now that we know that fits, we can take it off and re-glue it. Now, we've got our paint bucket and our roller. We can get to work. We've got our stick pin here.
If you need anything.
We have communication with our partner on the job. And then Will is our spotter at the bottom of this duct beneath me, in case we need him to get anything out of the vacuum. And then we're gonna just roll all this on here, stick it on. And then once I have this piece on there, it'll kind of hold it in place. Since I'm in this big duct alone, I kind of want to get this glued on so that I can go over there and work and this won't fall down. But this glue is supposed to go on 100% coverage, so you need to be 100% on the duct and 100% on the back of the insulation as well. So we are gonna do all of that. Keep this rope out of the way. So anyway, this is the tedious part of it, and you just keep rolling and rolling until you've got it all covered, and then I'm gonna stick it on there and move on to the next spot. So I'm just gonna do, for video purposes, I'm just gonna start with this little corner here so that we can get that done, show you what it looks like. And it's with this insulation, you want compression. You don't want to stretch it out, you want to compress it and fit it in there tight. So kind of making sure it's smushed up against the other sides. And then we tape all these joints. I'll show you that joint right there is taped. So we'll do that on all of these. All right, gonna show you guys a quick video of the taping process, just so you can see what it's like. Get this off of here, and then we're gonna do the corners. So you can take this knife, put that on there, make sure that's taped tight. Knife away, and then we are going to just I'm gonna try to like get one side on so that then we can bend the tape down the middle, and that way there's no bubble behind this tape. But that's that seam. I just did that one, looks pretty good.